maintaining maintaining logbook is very important. Then that takes me to scientific writing. A mentee will have to learn to write research report, manuscripts, grants, and proposal. You have to learn to do that. And then your oral communication. You must learn to deliver your presentation effectively. You must learn to explain complex ideas clearly and define and defend your research if you truly did it, if it is not a furukomisi. If you truly did it, you should be able to defend it. All right. Then the fourth skills that are necessary for this progression is the professional skills. So at this point, the mentee needs to begin to engage in interdisciplinary teamwork. You should be able to work as an entomologist, you should be able to work with a nematologist, pathologist, economist, agribiologist, all of them. You should be able to work and fit in perfectly in that team. Because there are some projects that are interdisciplinary. It shouldn't be a case of, oh, nobody wants to work with you in that team because the responsibility given to you, I mean, you won't do it. And then you need to start building up your professional connections. Then moving to time management, you have to learn to prioritize your task and multitask to meet deadlines. You cannot be on one project for 1 year. No. There will be added responsibilities, administrative responsibilities, with your research, with scientific responsibilities. And you must be able to deliver. And so you must learn to prioritize what is what at this time. And a mentee must understand research integrity. You do not want to be caught in scientific fraud, which includes plagiarism, data falsification, and irresponsible authorship. You don't want to be involved in that. You don't want to be caught up in that, because that will jeopardize your integrity. And at this point, after all said and done with all that I've said, then that mentee has matured, and then can begin to mentor a junior researcher while he, moves to another level. So those skills are very important for progression. Now, having talked about mentorship, and I've said it's a relationship between two people, the mentor and the mentee. Now, we need to define responsibilities because we do not want conflict. If two people are relating and there's no definition of responsibilities, there will be conflict. Because, for example, you put a cup there and the cup is dirty. Who is expected to wash the cup? Somebody must know that when that cup is put there and it's dirty, I must wash the cup. And so the responsibilities must be defined clearly so that everybody will know, the two of them will know what to do at the right time. And so the first thing is professional guidance. That's the responsibility of a mentor to a mentee, is to give professional guidance to a mentee. And to help a mentee to set SMART goals. SMART, that is simple, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. You set for the mentee. And to encourage mentee to overcome challenges, because definitely challenges will come. But you have to encourage the mentee to move on. Come on, you pat him at the back or pat her at the back. I've gone through this road. Come on, you can make it. Go on. You encourage, and he or she moves on. And you share your knowledge for that new skill with the mentee. You provide access to your network. Don't hoard it. If you're connected to Mr. Hutchinson in the UK that heads a lab there, share that link with your mentee if your mentee will need Mr. Hutchinson. Don't hoard it. Don't think Mr. Hutchinson is for you alone. Share that information. Share your network. And then give constructive criticism for growth. Motivate the mentee to think outside the box. Don't be too rigid. That's the way we've been doing it before. And we might not be getting good results. It might be the same result. But if we do it in a better way and get better results? So think outside the box. Before COVID, nobody knew that virtual meeting was going to become a norm. And so we have to be flexible with our mentee. Now, having talked about the responsibilities of the mentor, let's go to the mentee now. The responsibilities of a mentee to a mentor. The mentee will have to seek guidance to achieve a set goal or set goals for him. And it is his responsibility to make sure that those goals are achieved. The onus lies on him or her. It's not the mentor's. If you don't lift your load, nobody will support you. And you have to actively participate in that mentorship process and make use of advice that you're given. You must be able to accept criticism. Don't be a child or an officer that cannot be rebuked. When you are rebuked, you go to a corner and then you fold your arms. Don't be like that. How will you learn if you're not rebuked? If you're not corrected? Don't give excuses for your failure all the time. When your mentee, or when your mentor gives you a responsibility, come in the morning and get this data. And then you came late. And you're, why did you come late? Do you want to mess this work? It's like, what is wrong? I took my children to school. I have to take them, and it's like, is it because our children is in the university? She's not even sensitive. I took my children to school. No, you can plan yourself. You have to take your children to school, but as a responsible researcher, plan your time. Plan when you will wake up. Know when you will get to your children's school early, that you will come to do that work that is expected of you. Share progress and challenges so that you will know where you are and how to forge ahead. Show gratitude and be respectful, because your mentee is investing in you. You have to learn to be grateful. Right. So having talked about that, now we talk about who a good mentor is. We've talked about their responsibilities, but who is this good mentor? A good mentor is a dedicated and committed person to his or her organization, and in this case, NIHOT. Must think of succession plan. It must be paramount in his or her mind, because he or she knows that one day I am going to leave, and when I leave, what happens? He or she must be generous in ideas and resources and time to give out to others, and respect intellectual property. You don't want to be caught also in scientific fraud. You must have strong work ethics, not a mentor that will go a wall. Whereabouts of a guy is not known. When a meeting is called, a guy will come late. A guy is not prepared for the meeting. That is not a good mentor. And you should not talk down on others, on your mentee. A good mentor must not talk down on your mentee. And you must not accommodate bad behavior also. You must learn to rebuke and love. You know, it takes strength to say no, especially to your loved ones. It takes strength. And so a mentor must learn to say no at the right time without feeling bad, without feeling guilty. You have to learn to say no. And a good mentor must be an active listener. It is not about you alone. It is not all the time that you want you to begin to roll your achievement and make people listen to you. Listen to others also. So a good mentor must be an active listener, must be open to feedback, and must not be biased in dealing with others. Yes, you have heard, James is a bad boy, he's done this, he's done that, and you have an opportunity to relate with James. Allow James to prove himself to you. Don't deal with James based on what you have heard, because you did not relate with him. Don't be biased. Allow him or her. Let him or her prove himself or herself. Don't be biased. That's the characteristic of a good mentor. So if you have a good mentor, definitely we will have bad mentor also. So, from this illustration, this is Dr. Eniguru, and this is Mr. Omugo. Dr. Eniguru is supposed to be a mentor to Mr. Omugo. And the two of them are standing on a branch of a tree, the tree trunk. Mr. Omugo has a saw blade, which Dr. Eniguru is directing him to cut, while Mr. Omugo stands at the peak, at the edge of the branch. And Dr. Eniguru is directing him, cut it, and he's cutting it. Please, what do you think will happen to Mr. Omugo? Thank you so very much. And that is going to jeopardize the career of Mr. Omugo. Now you want to ask me, doesn't Mr. Omugo know that his action is going to jeopardize his career? He does. But you know, sometimes we have people that are blindly loyal. That's blind loyalty. And that is wrong. That's not a good characteristic of a mentee and a mentor. Now, coming to your right now. This is Dr. Imeniko. Dr. Imeniko is on the peak. He's standing there where nobody is. He's the only one. He's the master of it all there. And so he does not want competition. He does not want anybody to come and share that position with him. And so when mentees are trying to climb, what does Dr. Imeniko do? He pushes the ladder so that they fall, and he remains. And Dr. Imeniko has forgotten that one day he will leave. 65 years is going to tick, 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 and end. And then he will leave the office. So when he leaves, what is Dr. Imeniko's legacy? Jack Welch said, successful leadership is all about growing others. So that is what Dr. Eniguru and Dr. Imeniko did not put into consideration. Now, we've talked about the good mentor. Let's talk about a good mentee also. Good mentee must be humble, willing to learn. Your mentor may be older than you in age. That does not mean that you begin to feel Ah, kí ló dé tó ń pè mí lórúkọ? Ah, ọdún kan tí mo fi jù ẹ́ lọ ẹ̀hẹ́n. Á pè mí láǹtì ni tó bá ní kó kọ́ mi ńkọ́. This is not about your age. It's not about your age at all. It's about knowledge. It's about skill. It's about wisdom. Get it. Whichever way you want to, get it. Don't talk about your age. If you want age, there are so many of your age mates at the cemetery. You will find them, different ranges. Be humble. Learn. Be open to instructions. You cannot be given directives. If you will not go on errands for somebody else, you won't do your own. Because it is while you're serving others, you will learn to serve yourself. You must strive for excellence. You want to do it better. Yes, the result of good is there, but you want to do it better. You must accept your responsibilities. Whatever job you have been given, do it. Don't wait till somebody will say, Lord Shile, you know this is for you. This is you. You should do that. Go and do it without being told. You have to be courageous to try new things. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is part of life, you know. Yes, failure is part of life. The righteous fall 7 times. What does he do? He rises. You have to keep rising. So long as you're living, failure will definitely come. You must learn from your past mistakes. And you must be able to accept criticism graciously and respect the mentor and be grateful. Now, this is me when I was in Canada. When I had my project, I had a mentor. That's Andrew. Andrew has, at that time, Andrew had BSc, and I had PhD. But Andrew had what I did not have. He had the skill for rearing honeybee queen. And I needed that skill. So Andrew had to mentor me. I had to humble myself for Andrew to mentor me. And so when we started the project, we came together to set the goals. And then Andrew said, well, Abiola, you see, because queen rearing requires dexterity. And that's why you have few queen rearers, even in Canada. And so he said, you know, the grafting of this queen is very technical. And we have 6 months window in Canada to do this experiment because of the weather. You don't work bees during the winter. And so he said, so we have to plan this experiment. And so this grafting, I will do 75 while you do 25%. And I told him, I said, no, Andrew, that's not going to happen, you know, because I'm going back home. I'm not going to stay with you to learn the next year from you, to make it up to 50 at that point. I said, no, Andrew, we have to modify this experiment. You know what's going to happen? We'll expand the data set. The sampling size will have to expand. You do yours, I do mine. I do my 100% and you do your 100%. And I bet you, Andrew, I'm going to be better than you. And he said, you crazy woman. I said, yeah, sure. That's a challenge. And he said, okay. But then, because it's a project that's been approved, we had to go to the coordinator to go ask for approval. And so we went to Jocelyn. And Andrew said, this crazy woman has decided to modify the project. And he said, what happened? And she said, she's going to do 100, I do 100. Though it will require a lot of work, It will take time. And I said, don't worry, I'll do it. I said, okay. And Jocelyn said, I know her. She's my best student. Allow her. And so we started the walk. And truly, at the end of the walk, yes, I was better than Andrew. And he said, Adiola, you are crazy. And you mean you want to go back home? Please don't go back home. We want to give you more money so that this work you have started, you can patent it. I said, no, Andrew, I'm not waiting. Because you are the crazy one. You give me more money and make me stay here. And at the end of the day, you keep giving me more money, more money, more money. I'm going home. I said, come on. You are the first Nigerian I've seen in this school that insists wants to go home. I said, yes, I'm going home. Okay, you go home. Yes. I said, okay, you go home. And so while I finished, because Andrew was impressed with me, that's Andrew, he organized a farewell dinner for me. And he gave me that. And so you see, being a mentee, you have to humble yourself, you have to be willing to learn. It will take a lot of work from you, but you have to be willing to go through. Now, coming to a bad mentee. This is Dr. Imole, trying to shed light with Mrs. Colleen Conche. You see, in the first, in the other slide where we show the good mentee, what did she do? She stretched forth her hands to receive it. Mrs. Colleen Conche, see her hands are on her side. She's busy thinking, what is he giving me? Always complaining, Mrs. Colleen Conche. And if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse to drink. The Yoruba will say, Omotoba Shipa, no matter. If you don't lift your hands, no one will carry you. And that's a bad mentee, not willing to learn. Now, having talked about that, we now have to talk about the process of mentoring. We know who a good mentor is, a good mentee, a bad mentor, a bad mentee. So let's talk about the process of mentoring. It requires identifying a skill gap. And then you identify a mentor that possesses that skill gap. And then you identify a mentee that has a capacity to acquire this skill. You bring them together, a goal is set for the mentee, and then you define the roles and responsibilities of the mentee and the mentor. Communication channel is clearly stated, whether by email, by telephone, by meetings. It needs to be clearly defined. You understand the barriers that the lower level people experience. You are exposed to diverse cultures and thoughts and perspectives. The Gen Z, the way they think is quite different from the way the baby bloomers think. You learn new perspectives and approaches, and you create legacy for yourself. Your leadership and management skill is enhanced. You are recognized as an advisor. And you also, as a mentor, you gain the satisfaction from imparting wisdom and experience to others. Now, we come to NIHOT. What is the benefit of this mentoring to NIHOT as an organization? Our talents are discovered. There is increase in productivity. The leadership succession plan is effective. Institutional values are preserved. Creativity and problem-solving strategies are increased. And there is cross-organizational networking. When the organization needs to link out to FAO, to WASCAL, you have people that have collaborated with them. Side researchers that can say, oh, I know so person in that organization. Getting grants will be easier. There's improved overall workplace culture. Staff are satisfied. And increased loyalty to NIHOT. Staff will no longer want to leave for better place. State of resignation will not, be much. And there will be balanced mental health. I think this is fun. All right. So, I have listed some of the early career development opportunities that you can explore vis-a-vis the mentorship. I benefited from Marshall International Training course. I know my colleagues benefited in some of this. As an early career researcher, you explore these opportunities to build yourself up. All right. Now, we know what mentorship is all about. We know the benefits, the characteristic of a good mentor-mentee. Now, let's talk about effect of lack of mentorship. Okay. This is from a cartoon, The Lion King, if you have watched it. Okay. This is Simba, the heir to the throne that's in the land of Lion Pride. His father was Mufasa, but his father was killed by his own brother, Scar. And Simba was banished from the Pride land. And so Simba moved into the jungle, and who did he find? Pumbaa and Timon, a watchdog and a meerkat. They became his friends and his mentors. You can see Pumbaa is trailing behind, Simba is trailing behind Pumbaa and Timon. While Simba So now, what is not mentorship? Mentorship is not for control. It's not a master-servant relationship. If you have watched Aladdin and the King of Thieves, a cartoon, Aladdin and the magic lamp and genie. Aladdin will just rub the lamp and genie will pop up. Yes, master. And he will give his command. Genie, get me Jasmine. And genie will run. Genie begins to drag Jasmine and drags her to Aladdin. So it is not a master-servant relationship where the mentor will give mentee work to do outside professional talk. To gain favor is not. It is not a gift authorship relationship where the mentor will want to manipulate obedience and the mentee will want to manipulate acceptance. Put my name and I'll put your name. Even when he or she did not contribute in that work. It is not a relationship for financial dependence, where the mentor does it to have authority over the mentee, and the mentee does it for sustenance. It's not. Okay. Now, you know what mentorship is all about. You know who a good mentor is, a good mentee, a bad mentor, a bad mentee. We have talked about the benefits to the mentor, to the mentee, and to the organization, NIHOT in this case. And for the realization of the benefit of this mentorship to mentee, mentor, and NIHOT, the NIHOT should consider prompt establishment of institutionalizing mentoring program as thus. One, the HOD and HOP should come together, identify a skill gap in a program. They should identify a mentor that possesses that skill and a mentee, a staff of that program that has a capacity to acquire that skill. They should match them and set a timeline for them. The HOD will then request the ED to direct the initiation of this relationship. And ED will direct the relationship. The HOP will measure the success and impact of this relationship and share with the executive director and the ED and the HOD. The ED will then direct both of them, the mentor and the mentee, to share their success story. So, having told you the core mandate of NIHOT, the research roadmap for a researcher, mentorship, benefit of mentorship, who a good mentor is, who a good mentee is, a bad mentor, a bad mentee. Let me conclude by saying mentorship is a critical partnership that accelerates technical expertise and professional development of a mentee. It creates a legacy for a mentor. It improves productivity and enhances effective leadership succession plan for NIHOT in this case. Let me close with the word of John Maxwell, who says, success is not success without a successor. At this point, I want to acknowledge the Executive Director, Professor Emela Tunda, for giving me this opportunity And I want to thank the head of Fruits and Spices, Dr. P. Akindo, for being my editor. The executive director, esteemed members of the IMC, researchers, the great researchers, dedicated support staff, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your prompt attention.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it also. Okay. Abiola, okay. I'm sure she came down to our level. We all understand this seminar. So please let's appreciate her one more time. Also, she has graciously requested that these slides be shared with all staff. So we'll put it on the e-notice and as a platform on all the unions. Thank you, ma'am. So now we go to comments, questions, and observations. I'll hand over to the executive director, sir. Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, madam. This strikes is it Master MC? So, Madam MC. Thank you very much. My HOP. You see, I don't want to talk again. Because my own phonetics and Nigeria phonetics. And somebody don't talk phonetics for being good now. So I don't know how we are going to manage. I think I need mentorship in this regard. So you will now be hearing English from Ilori and Adibada. So this is a place let people have another round of applause. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not for an iota of a second. I'm not surprised. I read the abstract, so I know it's fully loaded. And I told you earlier, even when you told me what to say, I said I wouldn't want to like the cat out of the I will not make mistake this time. I will thought that yes.
We should talk about the responsibility of the mentor to mentee. That also, piqued my attention because I remember the seventh one, we mentioned 7 responsibilities of the mentor to mentee, which is to motivate, that is to think out of the box. I remember I have to click there because it was a news item in the UK. After I've left, I already here, 2024. I think in 2020. I was the HOD of the Agri and Environmental Engineering Department in the UK. So I entered the lab. There were 2 experiments. There were 36 students there, but they say, we don't have this equipment. The students are little time. And in my department, part of mentorship, I have a lot of students in your executive there. In the university, they don't buy this. I said, yes, that is why you're an engineering student. That's why we admitted you. Go and design and develop your own. They said, I said, yes, otherwise you will fail. You know how I talk, how I fight people. Some people that have met me know I fight a lot. I have some crazy people, but not crazy of that, okay, it's Canada, friend, or Canada. You know, if anybody tells you you are crazy in Nigeria, you fight the person. So if you say he has crazy on his head, I'll fight you. Let me just tell myself. So, just so that go and design and develop your own. And so, if the ICT have it, they should put it for me, let me see. There's a slide. Came out in me after 2 years or 6 months, 9 months. A guy came back to the department, he was a 400 level then, and donated that equipment he designed from my statement. That I challenged them, which Dr. Pedro said, you need to motivate them to think out of the box. He came to the department and donated that equipment to the department, and after that, the equipment was 200,000 naira. And he donated it to the department. That's it. That's being came with the thing. And if you have it, maybe they will share it with all of us later. There's a portion there said, this was done when the HOD then, I was the HOD then, that is not it. And it was because that same thing.